I saved my son by getting full custody as a singe dad. Quick recap. My wife filed for divorce because she was no longer attracted to me after my accident in which I lost my leg. We had an agreement that I could see my son anytime I wanted, but he wouldn't be doing any overnight visits until I had a motel or apartment. At the time, my Revit had no heat, and the doors didn't lock, and I didn't feel comfortable with him sleeping there. Shortly after his 7th birthday, he called me super upset, crying that he didn't want to be there anymore. He told me that his mom's boyfriend's kids were making fun of him for asking about going to therapy. He said he only told mom, and that she must have maybe told the whole house. When I brought up his therapy, my ex dismissed the idea entirely, saying there is no reason why a 7-year-old needs a psychiatrist to pump him with maybe drugs. I told her he doesn't need medication, but having someone to talk to about things would be beneficial. Her exact words were, "Mux buying, since you don't have any money, it might be hard to grasp. But those of us who do don't want to waste it on problems that are imaginary. Anything involving our son, she uses the fact that she is the primary caretaker with money, and I need to just go along with whatever she says." I was completely unaware that her boyfriend and kids moved in. The boys took over my son's room and threw away his clothes that were on the floor, which were only on the floor because they took his dresser. They also play this Munspon game where one of the boys puts a pillow over his head and farts. And when he tries to get up from under the pillow, boys both sit on the pillow and laugh. I asked him how long they do this for. He said until he much and plays dead and stops moving. By accidental asphyxiation, I confronted my ex and I told her what our son told me. And she said that it was just rough housing. And he is just sensitive because he was an only child, so he doesn't know how to play. Covering someone's face and sitting on them is not a fought game. This is not just boys being boys. She let out a huge annoyed sigh and said her boyfriend has his own way of raising boys, and that since he lives there and not me, they run the house how they want. Her boyfriend took my son's phone because he was being much disrespectful. I asked her to elaborate. My son didn't want to rub her boyfriend's feet as a monster core. My son under no circumstance should ever have to touch someone he doesn't want to touch, and calling it a chore is predatory. As I am saying all this, her boyfriend comes around the corner laughing and says, "Oxbow Idic, what you are moaning and groaning about? You don't live here, don't you come here making demands." Before I could respond, he said I should just take my sissy of a son back to the trailer park because if he doesn't want to listen to the man of the house, he can go. I'm not taking my son from his mother, nor am I jealous that she is in a new relationship. My son needs his mom. He needs us both, but right now she isn't paying attention, and I mean that in the simplest terms. She is dick drunk. I filed for emergency custody and today was our hearing. She came with her boyfriend and his kids. His mom didn't say a word to our son. She was laughing and playing with her boyfriend's boys while we waited. I had to sit and watch my son watch them with tears in his eyes. He asked me, Munchpilnome has known me my whole life. Why is she picking them? I had no response because I felt the same exact way. She didn't contest my custody, and I almost got in trouble myself because I asked her to get her head checked because she is acting like she might have a brain tumor.